What's good, Swainless family? This is actually the very first visual of our Scaredy Kats podcast.
The stories that we've talked about so far will definitely give you the creeps, and it will set you up for spooky season.
So click that like button and subscribe, and let's get to it. We're gonna be talking about the true story behind the movie The Orphan. The new Orphan movie, First Kill, is a prequel to the movie that was already out. We're gonna be reviewing that later in this video, but we're gonna be talking about, like I said, the true story behind this movie. It's about a girl named Natalia Barnett.
Natalia Barnett was actually an orphan who suffered from dwarfism. She was from Ukraine, and she was first adopted by a New Hampshire family in 2008. So that was her first family, so keep that in mind. Unfortunately, the family didn't work out, and she was put back into the system again. And it's a little mysterious because, she was 5 years old at the time when they had her, right? Because she was born in 2003, I believe. That's what it says in her birth certificate. About 2 years later, she was adopted by the Barnett family in 2010. Originally, the Barnetts were actually supposed to have a daughter from Haiti. Unfortunately, during the time there was all the earthquakes that were happening, the adoption process got pushed back a little bit. Not long after, a Florida agency ended up contacting them. They ended up giving a phone call and be like, hey, I have, a child named Natalia. She's from Ukraine. I have her up for adoption. You guys have over 24 hours to decide if you guys want to adopt her or not. And it's weird because they contacted them. They knew nothing about Natalia prior to this. That's a red flag right there because, with the whole adoption process, it takes a lot of steps.
And then for them to just say 24 hours.
And they never met the Barnetts prior to this. And adoption, you have to meet the family. You have to do background checks.
And they never had any background checks.
They never had any of that. They flew out to Florida. They went to go meet her in a small office. And instantly, as Natalia saw them, she ran out to them and referred to them as mommy and daddy right away. When kids are about to become adopted, they're scared, they're nervous, they don't know what to think. There's so many things going through their head, like, this is gonna be my new family. While they were kind of like getting in, meeting each other and whatnot, the parents were pulled aside and they were asked to sign papers. They ended up signing the papers and they took Natalia home not long after that. So it was kind of just like a quick thing, like, okay, you meet the kid calls you mommy and daddy, let's just adopt. After they adopted her, they started to notice some odd and violent behavior. A few things happened, and one night when Christine was actually bathing Natalia, she ended up finding some adult characteristics on Natalia that made her very uncomfortable, and she was scared, she was frightened because, no 7-year-old should have these things. Is she 7 years old, or is she much older than we think? Not long after that, she would even threaten the family that she wanted to stab them, she wanted to kill them in their sleep. They said that they found her hiding knives under her bed. They found bloody clothing in her room as well that basically kind of referred to her having a menstrual cycle. So, when you have a menstrual cycle, you're already at least a teenager or older. They also said that when they first met her, that she looked like she had adult teeth.
No baby teeth?
No baby teeth. And at one point, Christine had said that one day she poured cleaning solution into her coffee mug and gave it to her and looked her in the eye and said, I want to kill you.
That's creepy.
And there was even situations where Christine said that she attempted to kill the boys, like her 2 sons. That one day they were about to cross a sidewalk and there was oncoming traffic.
I remember you told me about this. This is crazy, guys.
There was oncoming traffic. She ended up pulling papers out of one of the kids' backpacks, threw it up in the air. The kids jumped, they surfed into the freaking traffic and tried to catch all their things. And that was just one thing. She was like, okay, she's trying to kill my kids. Honestly, one thing started to happen after another. She would actually smear blood on the mirrors too.
I would be scared just to even sleep in my own home.
Well, that's another thing. When the family was sleeping, Michael said that one night he woke up to Natalia standing over him with the knife. So the family was just like, you know what? This is where we draw the line. We're gonna go ahead and move to Canada. You seem to be a lot older than we think, so you are capable of taking care of yourself. So
this is where it takes a twist, guys.
They ended up, leaving her in that apartment. I believe it was in Lafayette. I'm not so sure.
Didn't they pay for it for a year?
For a whole year. They paid for her for a whole year. They still were providing for her. They weren't like, I'm just gonna abandon you. They're like, we're moving away. You're capable of taking care of yourself, so you're gonna stay in this apartment by yourself. And Christine would come back every so often to check on her. She even enrolled her in college courses. So she was going to college. She was going to college. She had an apartment that was paid for. She was taking care of herself.
Wasn't she buying herself groceries?
Christine said that she would buy herself groceries. She would even drive to the grocery store. Prior to them leaving her, they actually did some medical tests as well. I think it was prior or during the time they had left her. They did some I think it was like bone something, some kind of test that actually ended up confirming that she was. We are going to let you guys know our review about Orphan First Kill. The twists and turns in the film too.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, you can skip this part of the podcast. But when the mom and the brother end up being like basically murderers, is crazy. And
like when Esther was trying to murder them, she ended up finding out that the mom and the brother were trying to do the same thing. I think I would never have expected it to be that way. And like
what's messed up is that the dad didn't know that the little sister passed away. They posed it as that she went missing.
It was really good. I'd rate the film overall like a 10 out of 10. It kept me on my toes for sure.
Well, I give it a 10 out of 10 as well. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. 10 out of 10 movie right there. That movie was crazy. But that'll close out today's video, guys. This episode, I don't even know, guys.
It made me like honestly like
my brain's hurting.
Yeah, it made my head hurt because like we keep saying, I don't even know. I don't know anything. Make my mind up. Yeah, and like the more information, the more we looked into the story, I was just like so like mind boggled because it's crazy a case like this even happened. If you guys enjoyed and if you want to see more podcast visuals posted on the main channel, definitely drop a like and subscribe. But we'll see you guys next week. Peace.